friends, welcome back. And welcome back to another reading vlog. This is the beginning of a new series here on my channel, which I am so excited to start. We're actually bringing back a failed series. Like, I started this idea years ago. I don't even remember how long, but I called it Bookish Roulette. And today we're gonna bring it back, but add a little twist to it. There are some popular videos going around starting and continuing series reading vlogs, as well as like a spinner wheel choosing what book to read off of your physically owned TBR. And this new series that I'm starting is Bookish Roulette, but like book series roulette. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it, okay? I have 3 spinner wheels. This is how the game is going to work. The first spinner wheel is going to determine whether we are going to be continuing a series or starting a new series. And if you know the game roulette or other versions of roulette, then you might know that all of the spaces on the wheel are going to say continue a series because the goal is to finish book series, okay? But there are also so many book series that I own that I really do still want to start and I do want to try them out, you know what I'm saying? So there's one space on that first wheel that says start a new series. And I really am just so excited because truly, I don't care what it lands on for the first wheel. I would love to start a new series, but the goal is to finish series. So, you know, I'm not going to be mad either way. But then depending on what space that lands on, we will then go to the respective wheels of all the series that I have yet to continue and finish, and then all of the series that I own and want to start. So let's play. I think that classically roulette is like 6 spaces, but since we are bookish people and we rate books on a 5-star scale, we're gonna do 5 spaces. 4 of them say continue and 1 of them says start new. All right, we're all on the same page? All right. I'm so concerned. I'm so nervous. Okay, ready? Oh, that did not. Space didn't do it. Space didn't do it. Hold on. I have to click. I have to actually click. Okay, ready? I'm so nervous. And for what? Wait, I was like, surely that won't happen. Okay, we landed on start new. So, finishing series goals, be damned. I'm actually so excited. So that means now we have to open the series to start. Guys, there's so many. Look at how many spaces. There are 79 spaces, 79 books on this wheel. That's insane. Why are there so many? Okay, clearly I'm a series gal. Clearly I need some help. I'm gonna shuffle the names a couple times, okay, just to prove that I'm not cheating. And then, are we ready? Are we ready? Let's spin the wheel and see what our first book of the series is. Please be good. Please be one that I really want. I'm sweating. I'm so nervous. What is it? Wayfarers? Why do I not know what that is? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Guys. I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, I'm not mad. Listen, I just have to explain. The Wayfarers is Becky Chambers' The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. This was actually my audiobook when I was flying from the US to Japan and then Japan to Bali, and then that back home, like in reverse. This was the book that was comforting to me and helped me fall asleep. Not because it was boring, but because like I can't fall asleep to like a movie, even on a plane. I have a hard time falling asleep to music too, because the movie, my brain wants to watch music. I will be singing the lyrics in my head. I can't sleep to either of those things, but an audiobook, I can sleep to an audiobook. So that was really helpful to me in that time, because if you know anything about me and that trip is I almost died in the Tokyo airport. It was a horrible thing. It was a really rough travel experience. So that means that this book is kind of tied to that memory. Not the best situation, but I do know like for a fact that I was really liking this, but I didn't finish it because I kept restarting it at the beginning of each flight. There was 4 there on the way and 4 on the way back. There was so many connecting flights. Again, it was a horrid travel experience, but I was really loving the writing. I like Becky Chambers. I liked the characters immediately. This is a space opera book. Sorry, I should have said that first and foremost. This is a space opera sci-fi adventure. I'm actually not mad. I just wasn't expecting this, that's all. I did just finish The Employees by Olga Ravin, and that's a sci-fi, so I'm kind of actually am in a sci-fi mood, which is crazy. So like this makes sense for my mood right now. I want to get it on audiobook again because I was loving the narration. But no, that's actually pretty exciting, and I'm excited to actually read it and pay attention to it with the prospect of understanding and not sleeping. I think I do also want to spin the wheel again, because couldn't this be considered continue a series because I didn't finish this book? I don't know, maybe. That might be getting a little bit convoluted. But I'm saying we just spin from the top one more time just for fun, because this honestly might just be an audiobook for me. Like this might be the book that I listen to as I'm doing chores, as I'm working out. I love to have an audiobook for that sort of energy, one that I can do other things and listen to. So I was actually also looking for a book that I have to sit down. I have to sit down and really pay attention to, like a high fantasy or something. That's what I was expecting. That's what I was kind of hoping for. So let's spin again, because I make the rules. I will be reading this. This one counts. That first spin counts, but I wasn't planning on spinning again at the beginning of the video. I thought we would spin like after I finish this book, but this is what we're doing. I'm deciding. We might spin even more times later in the vlog. I don't know. We'll see. But let's see if the secondary book for this first episode, there might be a third. We don't know yet, but let's see what this second book is going to be. Continue or start new? It looks like continue. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, ready? This is good. Let's go series to continue. Oh, there are some scary ones on here. Okay. I'm going to shuffle quite a few times. Ready? All right. There are 44 book series that I'm currently in the middle of that I actively would like to continue, or ones that I'm on the fence of, not knowing if I want to actually finish the series, but I will give the next book a shot. That sort of vibe. But there are some that I really want to read. So let's see what the second book is. What are you? That's a long title. What is it? Oh my God, wait. I put the series name as the choices, not like the actual book titles. So I don't remember. Oh my God, that's what I thought. By Chloe Gong? Shut up. That's so exciting. Okay, listen. The series that we landed on was the Flesh and False Gods series. It will be a trilogy. Only 2 of the books are out. The first one is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. The second one is The Vilest Things. I'm obsessed with how these look. I love them. I really, really loved Immortal Longings. This is sort of like a Hunger Games situation where every single year thousands of people flock to this city called San-Air, where the king or the ruler, I have to remind myself of like the terminology and what is like the politics surrounding the story. But I know that the king every year holds this competition where people join and they compete to the death to like win a bunch of money or something. So it's like an urban fantasy, and the magic system in this book involves body swapping, and it was really, really fun. One of our main characters is Princess Kayla. She's been in hiding for 5 years, ever since she murdered her parents to free the people of Talon from her own tyrannical family. And her goal is to win the games and then kill the king, her uncle, because it's basically his fault that like she is who she is now. You know what I'm saying? And then our other main character is a guy named Anton, and his childhood love is in a coma in the hospital, and he's like in debt trying to keep all of the machines on to keep her alive. So he obviously wants to join the competition to get the riches to help pay for her medical care. And the 2 of them strike up an unlikely alliance, and you know, things happen. There is a little subplot of romance. I thought the magic was really fun. I loved all the characters. Some of the plot twists, I remember like actually driving to work and listening to the audiobook and my jaw dropping at one specific twist that I didn't see coming. This is really exciting. And rereading that synopsis helped me a little bit. I do remember like every single thing. It's still fresh enough. I'm hoping that it's fresh enough to jump right into Vilest Things. The third book isn't coming out until next spring, so that kind of sucks. But I think it would still be fun to be caught up on the series, and that's kind of the point of all of this, you know? Okay, so we have our 2 choices. Wow, that's so exciting. We have The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet as well as Vilest Things. Welcome to the vlog. I'm so excited to have you here. Let's go start reading.
Here she comes like the rays of the sun, she shines. For 10 out of 10, Lord, she's no less than a dime. Sets my soul on fire and helps me unwind, yeah.
sense. This vlog's continuing like 10 times faster than I thought it was going to. For whatever reason, I just feel like I have to capitalize on being in a sci-fi mood at all because it doesn't necessarily happen a lot. So I have started The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, the first book of this video. As previously discussed, I have already read at least half of this a couple times. And I'm remembering things. Though I am like listening to it for a different reason. Instead of sleeping, I'm like listening to it to enjoy the story a little bit more and pay attention a little bit more, I should say. And it is just as wonderful as I previously remember. This book predominantly is surrounding a little motley crew on a space opera sci-fi adventure. They are tunnelers, which means like there's a bunch of physics. This book does have like a good amount of physics heavy topics in it that I dropped out of physics the first day in high school. I immediately left that class on the first day of whatever junior year, I don't know. Went to the counselor and I was like, I need anything other than physics. I can't, I don't want to do this. And so I got put in anatomy and now I'm a nurse. So I don't know, was that the catalyst? Maybe. No, let's be real. It was the fact that I could work a few days a week and have a lot of days off. That was the catalyst. But I definitely have glazed over mentally when we're talking about like physics and things like that. But the fundamentals of what this crew does in space is build bridges from point A to point B. And there's a lot of physics and science explanation surrounding that. And it is very cool. I think that I get the basis of it. Our main character is Rosemary, and she is basically being hired on as like a clerk, like a secretary almost, to help the whole crew, but mostly Ashby, who is the captain. We have a reptilian pilot named Sissix. We have Kizzy and Jenks. Yes, chatty engineers who keep the ship running. And there's a chef, obviously. There's a whole crew that their dynamic is so fun. And one thing that I really recognize in Becky Chambers' character creation is that every single person really does feel like their own person. They each have their own way of speaking. They each have this very distinct aura about them, even with just reading. So it's fun. It's very well done. They are being hired to do this like really crazy job that they're going to get a lot of money for, but it is obviously insanely dangerous. And they are currently fueling up. They're getting some supplies. They're getting ready for the long haul. And not only is the job dangerous because of what the job is, but it's also where it is, because it's sort of in like a volatile part of space, like between two different warring factions. I don't know. I'm still learning that part, but it sounds like we're going to get some like politics roped into the story. We're definitely getting a lot of really fun like character diversity with some good representation and conversations. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. Currently, Avi and I, she's in the back seat. You probably can't see her. She's back there. I'm stopping to get a coffee. We're out of coffee beans, so obviously I had to come make a pit stop and get some coffee. It's like 2:20 p.m.-ish. We're going to go back home and probably read some more, but bare minimum, it's going well, and I'm excited about it. Let's go get some coffee.
Here she comes like the rays of the sun, she shines. 10 out of 10, Lord, she's no less than a dime. Sets my soul on fire.
Hi, welcome back. I finished The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet a couple days ago, and I'm here to tell you about it. I haven't stopped thinking about it. And I don't know why exactly, but I will tell you the second that I finished the book, I went on to Pango Books and bought the rest of the series in these same covers. And they're on their way to me. I just kind of loved it. I really love like a hard sci-fi space opera, which I would consider this. I loved the found family. I loved all of the characters. I think not every character was my favorite character. Some were a little bit annoying. Some were obviously like not the greatest person in the world, or should I say galaxy. But I think that they all, I think I said this already, they all had such a unique voice and really, really felt like they were fleshed out in real people. And I'm really excited to continue and see what happens. I think from what I've heard from other people is the other books in the series follow just like different people, but within the same universe. And I always like that. I think that that's fun. Keeps it funky fresh, but I do just really like Becky Chambers' writing. However, I do think that what would have made this a 5-star for me would have been maybe a little bit more, I don't know, intense, like grim things. Like I think that Becky Chambers writes really like thoughtful and light things really well. Not even just light things, I guess just thoughtful and like deep things really well. Maybe like existential things, you know what I'm saying? I love when my like sci-fi or fantasy gets a little bit dark and gets a little bit almost like morally intense. And I'm not saying that it didn't do that, but I think that if it did go a little bit further in some of the situations, I would have loved it even more and been on my seat, would have been on the edge of my seat a little bit more. This feels like a really, really strong 4-star. Maybe a 4.5 is more right because I really haven't stopped thinking about it. But also maybe the reason that I am continuing to think about it is because I just feel like I'm in a sci-fi mood now. Like I really just want to read sci-fi, and I don't understand that. That does not happen to me. So I feel good about this one. I'm really happy about it, and I'm excited to have the rest of the books. What I kind of want to do, I know we already spun for another book in this video, and I will read that. But listen, I might want to just like mood read something else that I have in the upper corner of my bookshelves. I don't know when else I would read it. But here's the thing. I want to spin the wheel again, just because it's fun to spin the wheel. Does that mean that I will do what it says? No, not necessarily. But I just want to see if it lands on The Expanse or not. By James S.A. Corey. I think I might try to pick that up regardless, honestly. But I just want to see. I just want to see what would come up. Whatever it lands on, even if I don't pick it up right now, I will keep it on the wheel for me to potentially land on it again. All right. But listen, this is my life. I could do what I want, and I want to wreck my TBR a little bit. So let's just see what book is like a series to start. What is it going to land on? Can it be The Expanse? What if it was? No, it's not. This is a cutie little classic fantasy. It's the Kristen Britton Green Writer series. I got this because it fit a prompt for the R Fantasy subreddit bingo board from last year, and I won't be reading it right now. Listen, I warned you, and I simply don't feel bad. So I am going to X out. I won't remove it. I want to try one more time. We're going to try one more time. Just because. Just because we can. What is it? What does that say? Oh, that's a romance. The Brown sisters. I have Get a Life, Chloe Brown. It's actually right here. I don't even have to move. Look at that. And I'm pretty sure this actually, does this have queer rep? Maybe I can just like throw this on my June TBR as like an audiobook, or maybe for this video too. That might be fun. Oh, okay. The main character has chronic pain, and I think it's a different book in the series that has queer rep. Okay, that's what I thought. Take a hint, Danny Brown. The second book has queer representation. The main character is bisexual, I think. So that means that I am going to hold off on this one entirely, mostly because if it was queer, I was gonna maybe throw it on my TBR for Pride Month. But since it's not, I'm going to X out, keep it on the wheel, and save it for another rainy day. Though I have heard that I would like it, and I do think that I would. So I am excited I obviously own it, so I do want to read it. Okay, listen, we tried. We tried, friends. I'm going to grab this book that's up in the corner, and that is Leviathan Wakes. This is a long sci-fi. I know I'm talking to you and I'm not in frame, but that's the joy of having a mini mic. James S.A. Corey, Leviathan Wakes. Why am I doing this? I have so many books that I actually need to read. I need to start the Bloodsworn Saga by John Gwynne because that is in my book club for this month. But when am I ever in a sci-fi mood? Never. That's kind of fun. This might sound stupid, but this is gonna sound stupid, but I love high fantasy. The way that this synopsis is written is very much high fantasy. Obviously, we're going to get multiple characters, and so we're hearing about different point of views that we are possibly getting in this book. And obviously, that is the same structure in a high fantasy book, but this is sci-fi. So this is like a space opera sci-fi adventure, and instead of a fantasy adventure, it's a sci-fi adventure. So it makes sense that it's doing the same thing, just with a different setting. High fantasy and a high sci-fi. I don't know if that's a thing. Can it be a thing? But it's doing the same thing as a high fantasy synopsis would be doing. And that's just comforting to me because that is a structure that I understand. Okay, listen, am I gonna do this? I don't know, I might. Now, here's the thing, friends. If in the next clip we're not reading Leviathan Wakes, it's because the sci-fi mood left me. And I don't know what to tell you other than we sat here and yapped for too long about something that doesn't matter anymore. That is a possibility. However, right now the mood is strong and we're gonna just bring it downstairs and see if I actually want to pick it up. If not, then in the next clip you'll see me talking about vilest things, which would also be fine. But maybe we're reading The Expanse. All right, let's go. Hi. I have some updates for you. None of them will be what either of us were expecting. In the last update, I had already informed you that I would be like mood reading for the next book in this video because I want to, because I can. Should I? Probably not, but I am. And the book that I pulled off the shelf was Leviathan Wakes. That is now on my active TBR. I did get the audiobook from Libby, so, you know, I think I still will try to read that for this video. If I don't, then I'm lying to you right now, and I just don't know what else to tell you, then I'm sorry. I don't mean to be lying to you if I am. I do have active plans to be reading it, but instead of mood reading Leviathan Wakes, I actually began a whole new series, a completely different one. One that was on my active TBR, and I had just randomly started it sometime a couple days ago, and then a little light bulb clicked on, right? And it was like, oh my god, this is the first in a series. This is perfect for the video you're already filming. So, surprisingly, unexpectedly, we are reading Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. It is just as addictive and lovely as everyone has told me that it would be, and I am concerned for the rest of my TBR. I really, really am. I think I have to be about 100 pages in by now. My bookmark is at 80 pages, but I know I listened to a little bit more today while I worked out, which is why I have wet hair, I showered. I am now ready for a cozy rest of the Saturday evening of reading and gaming probably. But Dungeon Crawler Carl is literally so much fun. It never really got my attention because I never gravitated towards the covers, but after I started it, specifically the audiobook, guys, y'all were right. Y'all were right. What Dungeon Crawler Carl is essentially about is that our main character is Carl and a Persian cat named Princess Donut. Essentially what is going on is there's an alien invasion, and anyone who is underneath a roof, in a house, in a car, in a tent, in any sort of covered space, killed instantly, incinerated. Every man-made structure is gone. So anyone that was outside at this moment is the only people that are alive in the world. And portals are opened up to where if you want to continue living, basically, you have to enter the portal and participate in this like intergalactic game show that is sort of like a Dungeons and Dragons, like RPG video game sort of style level system. So like Carl's entering this dungeon and there are different levels. Like you go deeper into the dungeon by completing levels. And it is literally so much fun. The way that Matt Dinniman is writing the like interface of what Carl is experiencing, like there are actual like mini maps and loot boxes and things like that he's like gathering from completing tasks and getting achievements, and it's literally so much fun. I cannot stop thinking about it. I'm concerned about throwing everything else off of my TBR and just continuing this series for the rest of its existence. So I cannot wait to continue. I think it's going to be phenomenal. One of the most noteworthy ones of my entire reading year, I think, is what I am feeling right now. Because again, it's just so fun. So I'm going to be continuing that, especially for this video, because why the hell not? Was it what you were expecting? Maybe not, but me either. Right now, it is in the late afternoon Saturday. Caleb made me a little cappuccino, and we are about to sit on the porch and hang out for a little bit. I will be reading. Unfortunately, I can't pick up Dungeon Crawler Carl right now, so like this won't matter to you, but I am currently having to basically start and finish Wild Dark Shore by tomorrow. It is my book club pick for last month, and we're having the live show discussion tomorrow afternoon, so it's pretty short. I don't think that I will have trouble finishing it, especially since my video for tomorrow is already basically finished. I just have to export it and upload it, but I'm done editing it, and it is my bookshelf and library reorganization, because this is new. I don't know if you've seen this before, but I have a gallery wall now, and it debuted in that video, and I'm so excited about it, which this is just, it feels more and more like my space, and I just love it so much. But that being said, I don't have a lot of like work to do this weekend, which is phenomenal. I haven't had a weekend like that in a very, very long time. So I am going to put some hours and pages into this book tonight, but I do foresee myself kind of hyperfixating on this one for the other
other hours of my weekend other than the hours that I'm going to spend either playing Xbox or Switch or something, because she's a gamer, especially with my Gameathon merch. If you didn't know, Caleb and I are now soft launching a bookish embroidery business. Right now, the merch is for my Patreon exclusive readathon called Gameathon for Pride Month, mashing together our loves for cozy gaming as well as queer literature. So, you know, Gameathon, Pride Month, it's a whole thing, and I love it a lot. But yes, we're just really proud of it. It's really exciting. More info to come on this for like public soon. But yeah, be on the lookout because we have some really fun things happening. And I'll post things probably on like my community page here and also on Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, those are probably the two main places that I will be letting you know some insider things. But I'm gonna go sit outside for a bit, touch some grass, let the rain wash over my skin, release my inhibitions, you know what I'm saying? And I'll come back later once I have read more of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Okay, bye. Hello friends, I have updates for you. I finished Dungeon Crawler Carl a couple hours ago, and then I swiftly had to shower and get ready to leave the house. Late in the day, it's like 5 p.m., which is a horrible time to leave the house, horrible time to drive around the city. I only have a couple of minutes before I have to go inside. I'm getting my nails fixed. Look at them. Awful. They're so grown out. They're starting to like catch on my hair and shit, and I need to get them fixed immediately. So that's where I'm at. I just drove to Tamara bookstore. I placed an order for my book club pick that's next. Actually, it's this month. It's Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. A lot of people have been really liking it so far this month, so I'm excited to get to it. But I have gone a couple times, and they didn't have it in stock, but they did just order it for me, so I'll have it in about a week or so, which is great. I won't read it until then, at the earliest anyways. I did look for the second Dungeon Crawler Carl book. It wasn't there. They had 3, 4, and 6 or something. This is how I feel. Very quickly, swiftly. Ready? I really liked it. I think it's super original. I think it's super fun. I love the narrative. I think that creating a story like this and telling it in like an RPG, like first person, classic video game style is literally so inventive and so much fun. I had a little bit of trouble keeping up with all of the action, which probably was just due to the fact that I was listening to it on audio most of the time and not sitting and reading it like super slowly. So I'm not taking any stars off for that necessarily. Princess Donut is incredible. I love her character. I'm loving her character arc, the cat. I think that our main character Carl is interesting, and I do like him. Something is keeping me from 5 stars. Like I just don't have that 5-star feel, but it is like a strong 4. It is a very strong 4, like very much a book that I will still recommend to like everyone because it's super fun and I do want to continue. So I will eventually. I'm struggling with what I want to read next in this video because Vilest Things, I was originally very excited to pick it up, which I still am, but I'm struggling with the fact that it's not a completed series, and I'm worried that if I start this book, I'm going to be confused of like this world that I might not remember. And then when the 3rd book comes out, I will have that problem again, you know? Like that's the problem with continuing series that aren't necessarily finished yet. And don't think that I forgot that I had that whole thing about Leviathan Wakes. It's still a very high contender for this video. But I'm wondering, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I will be back when I figure out what I want to do, but I do have to go inside to get my nails done. So I'll be back. I have no idea what coming back to this video is going to look like, so we're both gonna be in for a treat. Hello, good morning. I need to figure out what I'm doing for this video because as previously discussed, I don't know what I'm doing for this video. I think that this first episode of this series, did I have a name for this yet? Oh, Bookish Roulette. Yeah, that's right. I think this first episode is me figuring out how I want to do these episodes because if I'm being honest, I don't think I'm going to read Vilest Things. It's over there on my shelf because I do want to read it, but I have trouble picking up the second book in a series that is going to be finished next spring, because I know, like, I loved the first book. I really, really loved it. And I think that I'm going to really love the rest of it, because foundationally, I love Chloe Gong's writing and I love that setting. I loved the characters and the situation. Like, I thought it was so fun. But my problem, I've got a lot of them, but my problem is that when the third book comes out, I might want to just start over and binge the whole thing. So like, my mind is really torn between just reading it and being caught up with where the books are being published right now. And then also on the other side, on the flip side, waiting until that third book comes out. And I don't know what the right answer is. I think this is going to be so silly. I think what we're going to do is spin again. And like I said, this episode is going to be, you know, figuring out how I want to do this. And I think that what I'm going to do for episodes moving forward is I get one respin and one mood read. So I will probably read maybe, like, depending, you know, probably like 2 to 3 books, depending on like what the specific situations are in each Bookish Roulette episode. Dungeon Crawler Carl was my mood read. So I technically do have one more spin, because I could deny Vilest Things. But I think to make it like you have to make a decision, Sydney, I will either have to read Vilest Things or the one that I spin for right now. I feel like that makes sense. I don't know if earlier in the vlog I kept in the time that I already did spin again. That was when I was trying to get Leviathan Wakes. And that would be like a second mood read for this video, which I technically could still do because I can do whatever I want. But to be honest, the sci-fi mood has sort of left me. So I'm not as like gung-ho, I'm gonna break the rules again and just choose a second mood read for this video. I want to see what would happen if I spin the wheel for real again this time. If I get Leviathan Wakes, that would be so funny. But okay, I don't have my tripod. It's over there somewhere. Hold on. We're just gonna come sit on the ground over here because the lighting is probably a little bit better. I accidentally stopped recording. Here we are. We're back. Okay, friends. We're gonna go to continue or start new. And we're going to spin. This is nerve-wracking. What are we gonna get? Is that continue? It's only right. It's only right. For this, I need to turn off the facial tracking so that I can move and have it there. So we're gonna go now to series to continue. I'm also going to be adding Dungeon Crawler Carl to it. Let's give it a little shuffle. Oh, not the zoom in. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Another zoom in. Okay, ready? The spin to decide everything for us. It's either going to be really good or not, or really bad. Wait. I literally just got this book in the mail. Okay, The Keeper of Night is a duology, isn't it? Isn't it? The Keeper of Night, it's by Kylee Baker. It is this book right here. This was one of my book club choices, like the year that it came out, whatever it was, 2021? Wow. I really loved it though. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was really well done. I love Kylee Baker's writing. I read Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang this year already, gave it 5 stars, maybe 6 stars. I loved it a lot. Oh my God, I don't remember any of this. I mean, shit, I read it in 2021. How could I remember it? This is the problem. This is the problem of starting series and then not continuing them. But honestly, I think I'm going to choose this one. One, because this would finish a duology. This would like complete a goal immediately in this first video, which would be really great. 2, I am just itching to read more Kylee Baker since I've read Bat Eater. So I think what I'm going to do is look up a like summary of the first book and just see if I can remember the very specifics of like how it ended and some of the like specific plot points, because I remember some things, right? In the first book, Keeper of Night, it is our main character is Ren Scarborough. She is half British Reaper, half Japanese Shinigami, and she has been collecting souls in the London streets for centuries. She's expected to obey the harsh hierarchy of the Reapers who despise her. Ren conceals her emotions and avoids her tormentors as best she can, but when her failure to control her Shinigami abilities drives Ren out of London, she flees to Japan to seek the acceptance she's never gotten from her fellow Reapers. Her little brother is coming with her, and she enters the Japanese underworld to serve the goddess of death, only to learn that there too she must prove herself worthy. She's determined to earn respect, and Ren accepts an impossible task: find and eliminate 3 dangerous yokai demons. Oh yeah, and learn how far she'll go to claim her place at death's side. Okay, I do think that once I read a summary of like some of the specifics, I think that it'll all come crashing back to me. Oh, and I still have my copy, and I think I annotated it actually. Okay, so for the next like 30 minutes, I'm going to go get that copy, kind of flip through, see if I'm remembering things. But this is actually kind of exciting because again, since I read Bat Eater and Other Names for Corazing, I went on Pango Books and ordered Keeper of Night from a random seller, and it literally showed up, like I picked it up from my P.O. box yesterday. So that's kind of crazy. It wasn't on my immediate TBR, but it's been on my mind, obviously. So okay, let's go do that. I think that this is what we're going to do. We're going to use this secondary spin. Okay. Let's go assess. It definitely took me at least 30 minutes or so to flip through the Keeper of Night to like remember what was going on and the specific like terminology surrounding the magic and world building and everything like that. I think I have a pretty good grasp on it though. I did start The Empress of Time. Here it is. This is just the dust jacket. The book's over there. I have read the first chapter. One thing that's annoying, I didn't know this would be the case. The first book is a book of the month version, so it's a really like big hardcover. The second one I specifically got from Pango. I wanted one that wasn't book of the month, but I should have known that it would have been much smaller. So it really kind of irks me. It really bothers me that they're definitely not the same size. Is what it is, I guess. There is a little bit of a time jump in between these two books. I think it either said like a decade or a century. I know those are two vastly different time periods, but I don't know which one it is. Regardless, our main character, Ren, is in a very different place and situation now than she was in the first book, and reaping the consequences of her own actions, so to say. I've only read the first chapter, so I don't have like my footing underneath me for anything about the book yet, except that it is sort of nostalgic in a way because it is set in Japan, and last July, so almost a full year ago, is when Caleb and I were in Japan, and the book isn't like all in Japan, it's very much like there is an underworld, there is a lot of like fantasy forward things going on within this story, but there are still some scenes and like descriptions of Japan, and it is sort of nice to be reading it right now, honestly. Like I just have been kind of reminiscing about our travel to Japan, and I miss it. I really want to go back. So this is kind of coming at a good time. It's all very strange that I just got this book in the mail a couple days ago, and that's what the wheel chose for me. Like, I don't know. I am not upset about it, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to continuing. Obviously, this is the second book in the duology, so I won't be spoiling anything. I'll more so just talk about how I feel like the character development is going, the atmosphere, the writing, the general vibes, and, you know, happenings, without telling specifically what the happenings are while reading this book. So don't worry about spoilers. I will not spoil anything. But I'm excited to read Kylie Lee Baker again, because now that I've read her newest release, it's fun to go backwards and see like where she began again. So yeah, I'm actually getting ready to leave. I have to go walk Avi, give her a little spin around the park, because I'm getting my hair done at 3. Oh my god, I'd never showed you my nails. Wow. It's like a blue aura. Originally we did green and it did not look good. And my guy Jimmy, he was like, "Do you like that?" And I was like, "I actually kind of hate it." And he goes, "Me too." So we ended up doing like this blue aura, and it's cute. I liked my last set better, honestly. The pink chrome tip was incredible, but this is fun. This is fine for now. At the very least, it feels nice to have like shorter nails again because they were really grown out. But yes, going to go walk Avi. Probably keep listening to this on audio because it was available on Libby. So, you know, of course I snatched that. I have to stop at the coffee shop to get some coffee beans because we ran out after our morning coffee this morning. And the coffee shop is literally right next to where I get my hair done. So that's perfect. One parking spot will do both. I'm excited to have a little refresh on my hair though. I feel like it's time. It's a little bit shapeless at the moment. But at the bare minimum, I have officially decided what's happening for this video, and it is The Empress of Time, and that's what we're reading. I hope to finish it over the next couple days, I believe. That's the plan. That's the plan. friends. I don't know if you'll be able to tell really that I sat in a chair for literally 6 hours. Literally, I'm not even kidding, 6 hours. The toner on the bottom is like super, super, super ashy, so it will become like pretty blonde once the like darker ashy tones fade out. But I just got some of my blonde ombre back. Like I darkened the roots again. It's really close to my natural color. It's just like a little demi toner to make it a little bit like of a creamy dark instead of like a caramel dark, you know what I'm saying? And then the ends, she went through and gave me back some of my blonde for the summer. I'm happy with it. I know it'll fade really well. But yeah, no, I literally sat in that chair for 6 hours. It was supposed to be from like 3 to 7:30, and I was there from 3 to 9 p.m. I'm not kidding. So I'm tired today, and I just filmed my summer releases video. I haven't done a sit-down video in so long. I've been just casually chit-chatting, I feel like, in my vlogs and videos that I've posted recently. So doing a sit-down video was actually kind of fucking hard. But those videos are not hard to do. I don't know why I had trouble speaking though, but it's fine. I am basically done with The Empress of Time by Kylie Lee Baker. I don't think that it's going as well as I wanted it to. I'm glad I'm reading it because I have been thinking about it, like I said before, like for a while now. I'm trying to find where I left off in the audiobook so that I can tell you exactly where I'm at. So I'm on page 341. I'm basically finished. I think that means there's only like 60 pages left or something. And I'll be able to finish that in like under an hour. So that's great. Because I am excited to be done. This is not a book that I have been able to like sit and focus on solely reading for this long. I think I read like 25 pages or so this morning and realized that my attention was not there. It just wasn't grasping me. So I started to play unpacking on my Switch while I listened to it because it's sort of like a passive game. It's very cozy. You're basically like unpacking boxes, like your characters' boxes throughout their life. And there is like a little story, like as you go on, if you focus on like what you're actually unboxing throughout their like different places that they're living. But it's very much a game that you could listen to an audiobook with. And that's what I've been doing pretty much all day. Well, I just filmed. That's why we're sitting here and that's why this light is on. But other than that, I have been playing unpacking, listening to The Empress of Time. And I remember liking the first one so much more. The situation that our main character finds herself in this is a little bit more exciting than the first one, right? Like there are like darker things going on. The stakes are debatably, like much higher actually. So like there is tension, there is plot intrigue, but I just cannot stand our main character. I don't remember her reading as young as she does. And this book is actually 10 years after the first book. Verified, because I know I couldn't remember earlier. They've said like a decade and they've said it's been 10 years multiple times. So I feel like she's reading younger in this book than the previous book. Or at least in the situations that she's finding herself in this book, she is behaving so like young, very irrational, very, what's the word? Like she's responding with like knee-jerk reactions without much like self-reflection or thought on like the bigger picture of things, like not thinking of consequences, and therefore is then reaping the consequences of her own actions. And it's all just a little bit annoying. The Japanese folklore that is woven into this story is very cool, and I think that that might be like the saving grace for it right now. Some of our side characters have better character arcs than I think that our main character does, which I think is just a missed opportunity, and maybe it's just how I'm perceiving and taking in her narrative and her internal thoughts. I just am annoyed by her. I just don't know what else to tell you. Therefore, it's making it hard to like care and want to listen to it. I do think I'm going to go finish the book and then I'll come back and update you on like the final thoughts and star rating. It's not going to be less than a 3. This is going to be one of those books for me that I like, it's fine. I don't not like it, but I don't like it sort of thing. So it's going to be hard for me to review, unfortunately, because I'm so lukewarm about it, but also because it's a second book in a series. So talking absolute specific things is kind of off the table because I don't want to spoil anything. So let's go make a tea and read these last 60 pages.
Okay, hello. I didn't make a tea. I realized it was 4:30 and it was too late to make a caffeinated tea. I could have made like a non-caffeinated tea, but I saved those teas for after dinner and before bed. A little cozy treat for myself, if you will. But I decided to clean the entire kitchen
while I finished this book. And I did finish this book. I stand by liking the first one a little bit more, but I also want to take note that this is a YA book, and when I read the first book, it was 2021, so I still, like, that's not too long ago, but maybe when I read the first book, I was in a little bit different of a headspace. Right now, I don't think I was necessarily, like, 100% in the mood for a YA fantasy, though I don't think that that really plays a factor into my enjoyment, honestly. I just truly didn't enjoy Ren's character in this book. It felt like the plot and storyline was moving in weird ways sometimes, like things were either a little bit convenient and it's just like, oh, this just so happens to be the case and it's exactly what we need. That's crazy. Or we were being sent on little side quests and missions like throughout Japan that, you know, is cool, and that's why I still like the story. Like, I still like the setting and things, but the actual like reasoning of having to go and do these side quests, I feel like were not always immediately evident. Though we were given reasons, I think that the book could have been shorter, is my point. I don't think that everything that happened had to happen. However, the overall like atmosphere and energy that Kylie Lee Baker was able to create within this story, within this duology, I still think is phenomenal. Like, I think that she's a really great writer, and I still am excited to see everything that she does in the future, especially like if you haven't read Bat Eater and Other Names for Corazang, it's her newest release. Look up trigger warnings because it is a little bit heavy. Really, it's a lot of bit heavy. It's very gory, but like, it's phenomenal. And I am very happy to have finally read this book and closed out this duology and finished a series for this first episode. That's crazy. Look at us go. I am going to be giving this a 3-star, you know, good, not great, not bad, just solid middle of the road book for me personally. I still do definitely recommend the duology though. Honestly, like, if you are a lover of YA fantasy and you like a little bit like darker eeriness, absolutely pick this up. The first one is Keeper of Night, in case you didn't know. I think it's great. But all of that being said, let's recap, because we're not reading Leviathan Wakes in this video. I had big plans. I had big aspirations. But no, we're gonna be ending this video here. I will put Leviathan Wakes back up on my bookshelves, and I know I'll read it sometime soon-ish. It is the sci-fi series that is calling to me most, other than Long Way to a Small Angry Planet now, because I have the other books in my possession, and I might just pick them up sometimes. And I will also be putting that series on my continue wheel rather than my start wheel. So it might come up again later in the series. I also bought the first Spy Family volume, which I'm really excited about. The seller that was selling the other 3 books in the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet series, she also had the first Spy Family volume. So I bought that. And I will put that on my Start New series wheel as well, which, you know, what am I doing if I'm just continuously adding things to the Start New? Whatever, mind your own business. I'm living my life, having a great time. But Long Way was solid 4 stars. Loved that book. I also loved Dungeon Crawler Carl. So 2 solid 4 stars and then a solid 3-star. Like, this wasn't a bad vlog. I feel good about it, and I am excited to do another episode in this. The next video that comes out though is going to be very exciting. I'm excited for the next themed vlog. It's going to be reading books that I almost unhauled, like Last Chance sort of vibes. There are 4 books that I'm reading for that video, and I'm actually really excited about all of them. So stay tuned. That'll be in the next few weeks or so, however long it takes me to read those 4 books, in addition to other books that I'm reading for things. But yeah, I'm excited about it. So let me know down below how you felt about this video. Do you like Bookish Roulette? Because I sure do. I think wheels are fun. Down below in the comments while you're there, leave me the cat emoji for Princess Donut, obviously. Leave me the cat emoji. And while you're down there, please do subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. I'll see you soon. Bye.